If anyone would like to speak at the Recreation Association Board meeting public forum, please call 864-848-2190. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
If you would like to speak at the Recreation Association Board meeting this evening, please call 864-848-2190. Thank you.
Everybody.
Oh, hey, Red.
What's up? My phone was sideways.
I thought I was going to have to lay down on the couch to.
Does it still look like that now?
No, you good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the screen wouldn't flip for some reason.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
Are we about ready to start playing baseball?
Seems like we're getting closer every day, doesn't it?
Yeah, I still feel bad for those guys at high school, seniors. Well, even Brock's a junior, man, losing that year.
I know.
He had to drive to Columbia today for practice
Really.
for his summer team.
How are they doing? So like if colleges have incoming freshmen, because they granted the seniors that are there an extra year of eligibility, didn't they?
Yes.
So are they going to expand the roster limit per the NCAA to this 1 year to allow for that?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll. I don't know how that'll work. I don't know if they'll redshirt guys.
Yeah.
Going to get a playing spot because of those seniors behind, or what they'll do.
It's a
But
mess.
if they do that, you'd think they would have to extend that year to everybody
I know.
that'll end up really affected over the next 4 years.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't plan for it, but I mean, I'm glad they did that for the seniors, in college. But hey, Mr. Harrell,
Hey, Red, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good to see everybody.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I'm in control, so I'm just trying to make sure I get it right. So I hope everybody gets in okay.
I didn't have any problem.
It's very easy.
Okay, I don't have anybody else in the waiting room, Amanda. I don't know if you want to wait a few more minutes or.
Don says he's having issues logging in.
Oh, he is. Okay. Let's see.
And Travis said he is too.
Travis is here.
It
He's
looks like
connecting
Travis
to his.
is
He's
coming in
connecting
right
to
now.
his. He's connecting to his audio. He's trying to.
Oh, I see. I got you. Connecting to audio. Okay.
It shows that Travis is in, so hopefully his audio is working.
Yeah. Travis, are you there?
It shows no video and no audio.
I don't know. For Travis Ware?
Yeah. But it says connecting again, so maybe he's trying again.
Okay.
I know one thing that some people have had to do is call in on their phone
Okay.
for the audio if their computer won't connect. It shows that Travis, can you unmute yourself and let us know if you have audio. Travis Ware.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay.
Awesome.
So Ann, if you're ready, I think we can probably get started unless you guys know of someone that we're missing.
No, I think we're good. And I'll certainly admit people if more come.
Pam Taylor's missing.
Oh,
Pam.
Pam? Okay.
Do we know if she was planning on joining us?
I believe so. She had indicated that she wouldn't be here if it was an actual meeting, but that she would be here if it was
Okay.
Zoom. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything from her. Robin, have you? Robin?
All right. I have not heard from her.
I say we should go.
Okay. All right, so we'll call the meeting to order and I'll lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. And then Mark, would you lead us in an invocation, please?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Dear Lord, thank you for the time that we have to spend with each other. Thank you for the technology of Zoom and all the other tools that we have. Thank you for the beautiful days that we've had, and please be with those that are hurting and without jobs, and be with our city and the employees that are here to make our lives better, Lord. Thank you for all of our many blessings. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, I think Ann has an announcement that she would like to make.
Yes, I would like to welcome Trevor Hoffman to the Board of Trustees. Trevor, we're happy to have you. Trevor is representing District 4, which is Lee Dumas. Trevor, just to give you a little bit of information, Trevor is one of our coaches for flag football. And he has an undergraduate from North Greenville University, and he is pursuing his Master's of Divinity from Southeast Baptist Theological Seminary, and also a former Team Greer member of our event staff. So you know us quite well, Trevor. So we are very happy to have you with us. So welcome.
Yep. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Trevor is also my pastor, so I'm glad to have him on the board with me. So do we have anybody speaking in the public forum?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll move on to the approval of last month's minutes or last quarter. Did you guys receive those? They were attached to the link that Sally sent.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So any questions regarding the minutes? So we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. If I could get a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion.
So we got a motion from a few people. Sally, did you get that?
I have them. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we'll go to a vote, Sally.
Mr. Bohannon,
Yes.
Mr. Ware,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Miss Taylor's not here. Sorry. Mr. Bridwell,
Yes.
Mr. Metcalf,
Yes.
Miss Hopper.
Yes. Okay, now we'll move on to our committee reports.
I'll go first for tennis. There are no issues to report. Patrick has been performing maintenance on the clay courts this week and is excited to get all of our courts back open for play. He reported that, as expected, there was an immediate stream of play on our hard courts as soon as they were opened, but he's very excited. We have a new committee that we are forming. I think we will have a vote on the chair of it later on, but It's for our golf committee, since the city has purchased the Greer Country Club. Just to give an activity report on it, we've had a lot of activity since our last meeting. We started on some cosmetic projects such as painting the interior of the clubhouse and pressure washing the exterior. Finishing some upgrades to infrastructure on the property that includes internet, security cameras, fire alarm, and burglar alarm. We're almost complete with our bunker upgrade to the course, putting new sand in them, cleaning them out, checking the drains, things like that. Next course upgrade will be the sprigging of Tahoma 31 Bermuda grass on the back 9 holes, and also sodding the back 9 tee boxes and the driving range tees. We'll do 9 this year and then do 9 next year. Also making upgrades in equipment to our swimming pool, preparing to open it when restrictions from the coronavirus allow, and we can get all the staff hired and everything in place for that. And also recently accepted proposals for the restaurant business in the kitchen as you come in. So we'll be evaluating those next week. So a lot of other stuff coming down the pipeline, also capital projects, improving equipment that you will be notified at in future meetings. But I just wanted to give an update on what we've been doing out at the golf course. Thank you.
And Bill, we want to welcome you. So we're happy to have you. So, and again, we'll go over that as far as your introduction just a little bit later, but welcome.
All right, thanks.
I can't see who is getting up, which is different than normal. So you guys will have to tell me when we have completed our reports.
Athletics should be up.
Okay, at this time, I have no issues to report from any athletic committees.
Cultural arts.
Hi there. A few notes. Robin Bayuk attended the Junior Theater Festival in Atlanta on January 17th through 19th of this year. The Greer Children's Theater performed Frozen Junior over 2 weekends, 6 shows at the J. Harley Bonds Career Center, March 6th through 15th, 2020. The last show on March 15th was very well attended as the state started to shut things down for COVID-19. The GCAC did submit an application to be the beverage provider for Freedom Blast. The Greer Children's Theater held interviews for the production team for Godspell Junior in the first week in January in Robin's office, the City of Greer Center for the Arts. Once the team was finalized, then we started planning the show. Auditions were held on March 9th at the City of Greer Center for the Arts. 25 people were cast. The team kept meeting by Zoom every week, but the Children's Theater has postponed their student-led production of Godspell to May of 2021. And that's it for cultural arts. Thank you.
Sally, do we have anything else?
It would be SOAR.
All right, thank you, Sally. The SOAR group has no issues to report at this time.
DAV. No one here for DAV, I guess, Amanda. So
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. Thanks for keeping us on track, Sally. Okay, now we will move on to our department updates.
Okay, so I will, I believe I'm first on the list there to report with athletics. And I'll kind of jump in where we left off from our last meeting. We concluded our wrestling season. It was a great season. We reached our capacity again, and David Holtzclaw and our coaches and our volunteer coaches, they do a tremendous job. If we're not one of the biggest wrestling clubs in the state, I would like to see another club that's bigger. They do a tremendous job. And this season, we actually had our first state champion wrestler that won a state title. And they actually did so the first week in March. And shortly after we were shut down, but our wrestling club season did get to finish, and we had a great year. Our youth basketball season was once again a huge success. We filled up our gym every night of the week, Monday through Saturday, and we even did some Sunday afternoon play to try to get practices and games in. We once again won our district in 8U. We actually hosted the district 8U All-Star basketball tournament, and that means that we've participated in this All-Star tournament 2 times, and our teams have won a championship in both of the times that we've competed in it. And they did a tremendous job. We had a great crowd over at Victor Gym, and that season also ended up in the first week of March, right before our shutdown. During that time, we were wrestling for our soccer club, our baseball club, and our girls softball program. We registered, we started practice, and unfortunately, before we could start our seasons, we were not able to continue playing. This past week, we made the super tough call, and it's something we've never had to do before. But we met on this, and eventually it just got to a point where we had to call the season. And we are going through now refunding everyone's money in full. And so we're in the process of doing that. But we're also looking forward to our fall season. We will start fall registration for flag, baseball, softball, soccer, cheerleading, and tackle in June. And hopefully this fall season will be a big season for us that we can rebound from this. And that is all I've got for you, for all of you tonight. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them.
Good evening. I'm Robin Bayuk with the Cultural Arts Division. Jose Romero's art show was hung at the City of Greer Center for the Arts on January 23rd, and we had a very large attendance of people, over 100 people. Sarah and I continue to meet. We met with the artists in residence, and we have 7 of them now at the Center for the Arts, and they're now called the Greer Visual Artists. We hung Deidreana Osorio's photography in the wall gallery at Greer City Hall on February 3rd. On February 4th, we had a reception, and the theme of her artwork was all people surviving sickle cell, and the president of the LD Barksdale Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation was present and made a speech. The City of Greer Synergy Art Show was hung in the wall gallery. Because we were closed already at that point, we did a Facebook Live event on March 27th announcing the winners. My goal is to leave the show up for 3 weeks after City Hall reopens so people can come and see it. We have 2 shows right behind that have been postponed until that one has its time. Foothills Philharmonic String Quartet performed at the City of Greer Center for the Arts on February 22nd, and the rest of their season was canceled. We received the Make Greer Great grant to turn a dead tree in the front of the City of Greer Center for the Arts into a living sculpture. We are currently waiting on a quote from a tree carver. The Greer City Council retreat was held at the City of Greer Center for the Arts on February 18th, and SC Lead was held there on March 5th and 6th. Currently, all spring productions and performances held at the Center for the Arts have been postponed until further notice.
All right, I'm Robbie Davis, the event supervisor with the City of Greer. I guess we'll go off of our last meeting, January 30th, and go through when we shut down, basically March 15th. We actually had a really busy February and beginning of March. We hosted 173 events within that span, which is really busy. 74 internal events. So we internal events being meetings that somebody in the City of Greer hosts. If they are the sponsor of it, let's say like our police department hosts a lot of meetings throughout the upper state here. Hosted a couple FBI leader trainings that we were able to host for them. So 74 of those, which keeps us pretty busy. We hosted one special event during that time. That was our event hall's open house. That was a random Thursday afternoon. We allowed our potential customers come see the facilities that they typically don't get. As a typical day, our tours take place during our work hours. So this was an opportunity for folks to come in after hours, talk to event staff, meet a couple vendors, see our space set up as a wedding, as a reception, and then get more information. We were able actually to host, I guess, to book 3 events out of that, which is for a span of 2 hours, booking three rentals is very good. So we look to hopefully get back to doing those. I know we've tried to schedule one for the Cannon Center, but I think this will be a periodic thing that doesn't cost us any money, but returns some business as well. Before we shut down, our ambassador program was really doing well. We were averaging 31 pickup, 31 riders a day. So that's very good as compared to previous months. In that time, we were real low, about 10 people a day. So seeing 31 jump up, it was really picking its stride before we had to shut everything down. And obviously we should be in planning mode for Freedom Blast and Moonlight Movies, but with COVID-19, we are looking at possible different options to host these, but nothing definite yet. Thank you. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Well, thank you and good evening. Travis Durham, Ground Superintendent in the Grounds Division. We've actually been, I guess, fortunate in our division that the lack of athletics has probably been the thing that we've seen the most, but we've definitely had the wheels on the ground and moving on a daily basis. Since our last meeting, we had contracted installation of double ground hardwood mulch within City Park, Police and Courts, and the Vern Smith parking lot. If you've been to City Park and noticed any of the site furnishings, there were tables, chairs, and umbrellas out on the veranda, and trash cans that are what we call the upper park around the fountain and up the promenade. We had those, we removed those, we sent those to be stripped, powder coated. They look brand new. We put them back in place. They were gone. It maybe took like a 3-week process, 4 trash cans at a time, 3 tables at a time. So just a project that we wanted to get done. Fortunately, we had the money sitting there. We had a great opportunity to kind of get that tackled. We're hoping that if funds are available next fiscal year, we'll do the lower part. We'll do the trash cans and things down there. It's a cheaper project for us to have them powder coated and bring them back to new than it is to replace them. We made our herbicide application to City Stadium and Suber Road. We started our ryegrass removal about a month in advance of what we would normally do. We did this around mid-March, and usually this is around early to mid-April, depending on soccer and how it's rolling. So we took advantage of that to get that stuff out of the way, start growing some things in, making repairs of the field from what season we did have, especially football at City Stadium. In the way of turf, we made pre-emerge applications to Little Turner, City Stadium, Victor softball field, Country Club Road Park baseball fields, the sod along Brushy Creek at Kids Planet, Park, the fields 2 and 3, Center for the Arts, and the sod along the front of Victor Gym. In conjunction with that, we came right behind and made our application of a season-long fire ant control at these locations as well. We felt that in the month of March, we might be a couple of weeks early, but we had enough warm weather, enough rain that we were starting to see activity. And there were areas that we knew we needed to tackle and take care of now. So when we do see activity at our parks and on our athletic fields, it's not something we have to worry about. We've made an epoxy coating to the City Park bathrooms. I know they're locked at the moment, but when they do open, stick your head in there. It looks great. There, Century Park, and Greer Country Club outdoor restroom floors. Those are areas that we identified as like they're finished concrete, but not sealed concrete. So mopping and maintaining and keeping stains out was something we were having a hard time with. So we went with a gray epoxy, something now the epoxy's down and sealed, we can mop, we can maintain. It looks a lot better. We did some in-house mulch insulation at Stevens Veterans Park in the Operations Center. Another project that we were able to jump on in light of not having athletics, some areas that I knew I could pull some staff and make some things happen. We had some new landscaping, sod and irrigation installed on the glass door side of Victor Gym. Last year, we completed the Line Street side. So we brought that landscaping and irrigation and landscape bed project around to the glass door side and got it complete as well. If you've been by Little Turner, you may notice that we've had an irrigation system installed out there. We kind of took a leap of faith now that we have irrigation and completely eradicated anything that was green at that site. If you'll bear with us, it kind of worked. That unfortunately, we don't have athletics. I would have never made that call with kids running around, but I took the opportunity to get rid of any and everything that's out there, see if there's any grass available, and seeing if it's something that we can make nice grass wise for our little kids to play on for years to come. I think it should be on par with the rest of the athletic fields that we maintain in our pocket. So, and if you've been by Century Park on the lower entrance, we took down the old chain link fence. We did that in-house, and we contracted the installation of a new 5-rail wooden fence. Obviously bigger than the 3-rail fence that is on the perimeter of that facility, but it's something that matches. It has 2 pedestrian walk-throughs, so when the disc golfers are coming off 17 or playing 17, if they throw a disc wild to the left, instead of going under the fence or over the fence, there's a pedestrian entrance that's available to them to where they can walk through and retrieve that disc and get back to play in the game. In the last few weeks, as we've started phasing in our openings, we've installed actually disc golf baskets back through the disc golf course, obviously without the catchers at the bottom, except for 17. That catcher at some point was repaired and welded to the pole. So we have a sign there just reminding people, if you retrieve your disc, to do your best not to touch a chain in the basket. And we've partially opened some of our parks, City Park, Center for the Arts, Veterans Park, and Victor Field for exercise and walking. We've been very successful in our monitoring on a daily basis of these places. People seem to be following the rules very well and understanding our point of view and where we're coming from. So not been as bad maybe as it could have been. So it's actually been a great thing. People are loving to get out and be in the open air and not being cooped up in the house anymore. Since our last meeting, we've had 28.6 inches of rainfall, and we're plus 13 inches on the year. So we've danced through it, but us here in the ground side, we've been successful. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I have one.
Sure.
The Little Turner Field, do y'all have any plans or anything that y'all gonna build or use that field for anything?
So right now, Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, it's used for coaches pitch games, T-ball games and practice. My idea is that this summer we can get the outfield to a suitable shape and hopefully move towards redoing the infield at that location to where there's new dirt, it's laser graded, everything's right. We'll have hopefully new safety PVC fence topper on that place. Maybe get hopefully if we're fortunate financially, we can get the fence painted out there. So I think there's plans in place for a year-long turnaround of that facility, as long as financially the city will allow us to make that happen.
Okay, now what about the big Turner, the field beside it? Any plans, or do the city still own that field as well?
Yeah, we still own that field. Right now it's usually, without being in this circumstance, it's an open green space. Corey is able to use it for, various practices. There's obviously backstops down there and some soccer goals and things. But I think long-term for me, I would like to make it a very nice green space and a much more usable and patron-friendly green space or practice area that we could have.
Okay, so basically using it as a practice area, because when I coach, that's the main field that we use most of the time. So, I mean, that would be a good idea. I mean, to use it as that as well.
Absolutely. And it's definitely on our radar. It's probably one of the areas we'll move to next to turn around and make improvements to where it can be more used and more user friendly. I'd love to see it happen.
Okay.
For right now, Travis, we use Country Club for all flag football practices, and then we use City Stadium for all of our tackle practices. So back when you coached, we would always go out to Big Turner Field. But that field we use a lot for people that call us and say, we want to go out and just play a game of pickup soccer, or we want to go jog. And we say, well, we got a perfect spot for you. And we have a ton of people that go down to that site that are not registrants to a program. That's actually one of the sites that we've had to patrol a lot after the shutdown, because we have so many people. And most of the time it's pickup soccer games that break out up there, which is what we put those goals out there for. But that's more of your free play space. That's what we kind of have it slotted for right now. So most of our tackle football guys are going to get a much nicer spot to practice on, because we got to be careful with, fire ants, and we treat those fields.
Yeah, I know about them.
Yep.
And to that tune, sorry to interrupt, we did treat, that's one area that I did treat with a season-long fire ant control this year. We found that last year we really ran around chasing this hill there and that hill there, and then move here and move there. And I think that we made the right call in putting out a season-long control there that has a label warranty on it. If we see fire ants down there within the next 8 months to a year, I simply call the manufacturer. They send somebody down here to investigate it. They make corrections for it. So that's definitely something that we've, in our fire ant plan this year, somewhere we've implemented a control there as well.
Okay, one more question for you, Corey. The City Stadium, I mean, is it any way, or Miss Ann or anybody can answer this question, is it any way that y'all could make the parking better down there and to use that stadium more? Because with that stadium alone, and a lot of people know the history of Little League and back in the day where Grill High played at, I feel like if better parking was there and y'all use that stadium a little more for soccer or football, it could bring a lot of money to the city. I mean, it could be real useful if the parking was a whole lot better. And I mean, I don't know if y'all looking into that. That's just some things that, I've been, walking and looking at stuff. And
yeah, I'll kind of try and answer your question, Travis. So in any given fall, we'll be running that site probably 4 to 5 days a week with practices and games. And ultimately, if I run it too much more than that, the actual field itself, by the time it gets to November, will be completely, it'll be wrecked if I use it too much. I mean, I would say a 4 to 5 day rotation with practices and tackle running at City Stadium is what we would have in the fall. And then we wrap around in the spring and we play soccer. We overseed it, and we start our soccer season. And I'll tell you, we, with parking, I'm not sure what could ever be done at that site because it's in the middle of a neighborhood. And we do hire for every league game that we had last year. We either had to hire out security to patrol the parking lots to make sure that the roads were available to emergency personnel. So it is just for one youth football game, we will fill that parking up, and we'll fill it all the way up to Davenport Field. And I wish there was an option for better parking, but right now I don't know how that would how we'd go about making that happen. And if you have any comments as far as that goes.
Well, I know, Travis, we have thought about this for years because it is such a beautiful facility, and we put a lot of money towards it to fix it, and it really is a special place. Other than you know, and other than filling in that gorge, there's no land, you know, as far as we have the streets, and we even looked into that property that is vacant that I believe someone's going to develop there. So just was not available. We just don't have any land that's available for us to develop at this time.
Okay, that's understandable. I just, you know, just always thought about it, even when I coached, that, you know, it could be better with better parking, but I understand that. So I guess just continue to use it how we use it, or, you know, just to get by.
Well, definitely, if anyone has any suggestions, we welcome that. I'm sure we can always do better in anything that we do. So if you do have a suggestion, do let us know. But yeah, we're very appreciative to have it.
Thank you.
All right, Justin Miller here, the Recreation Supervisor. Just a couple of things since we've last met. We had our summer camp registration for both Camp Greer at Victor Gym and Camp Needmore. That was launched for residents on March 16th. It's our most popular year. Each year it gets bigger and bigger. We had folks out to the road this time. We walked in at 7:30 to get ready to open up at 8. They were already out on the sidewalk and out to Pennsylvania in the line. So they've been there since about 5 or so. So it just gets more and more popular every year. We didn't make it through the first week of registration with the city before Camp Greer filled up. We do have some spots available at Camp Needmore as we went into the March 23rd registration for everyone else, non-residents or residents that might have missed their week. They could sign up on March 23rd. So we carried that in the Camp Needmore registration into the next week. We have been hiring interviews for our summer camp counselors the past few months. We have 10 seasonal spots available, as you'll recall, that we hire each summer for the camps. We've submitted those to HR, some that might drop back out of the process or for whatever reason. We've had to continue those. We're actually currently looking for our last spot to fill for the summer camp season. But all of the candidates that we've interviewed thus far are in the HR process currently. Our division has been working on our budget, of course, for our next fiscal year that's been due here recently, and finalizing some of the other budgets as a part of that. We did start the first week in March a new program, and that's archery. Some of y'all might have seen it on our social media. It's been a huge success. We had 18 participants that were down at Victor Gym. We started our indoor season. We're on the tail end of the indoor season back in March. So we started at Victor Gym for a 6-week session, but that, of course, got shut down with the COVID-19 situation a couple of weeks in. There we go. Make sure we're good there. So we got shut down a couple weeks in, but it is a huge success. And Travis, you'll be happy to hear we've got plans when we can get some fields and facilities back open. We've got plans for a huge outdoor archery program that we will hold at City Stadium. We'll work around our soccer summer program, fall program, football program is in the fall, but we do have the flyer and adults ready to sign up now for that. So we'll have an indoor. That's not my dog, by the way. We'll have an indoor session at Victor Gym, and we'll have an outdoor option as well at the beautiful City Stadium, like you were saying. So that'll put some more traffic down there, and I think it'll be a huge success. We've had a lot of talk and discussion about it on social media. So if you hadn't seen those pictures and videos, head back out or head to our social media pages and check those out. It's a really neat program. I think it's going to be a good success for years to come. We had plans for our spring break this year, Greenville County spring break, to have a magic class at our art center. Of course, that came to a screeching halt, and we had to kind of step back and punt a little bit. We actually started doing some online Zoom magic classes and workshops, and that's been a huge success as well. We had a free magic workshop a few weeks or about a month ago, and we had 39 participants participate in that free workshop. Now that kind of got folks interested in our magic program that we kicked off last week. And that Magic class has 7 kids enrolled in it. A very neat program that has 8 classes through the end of May that'll meet on different sessions. They meet for about an hour at a time. And these participants are paying about $150 to take this program. Now, this program isn't just magic. It teaches some proper etiquette, eye contact with folks, being prepared, proper manners. So it teaches more than magic, but it's a very neat program. And I feel when we get facilities open back up in the future, we can bring that back indoors to our city arts center, and we'll have some success with that program as well. We're able to install some backup cameras recently on our buses. That's going to be a huge help for some of our seasonal staff during the summers, and when we take senior trips on the buses. So we've got those installed that'll help just with safety and folks that might not be used to driving a larger vehicle. That'll help tremendously. We were able to partner with Rear Relief and the police department to provide a mobile food pantry at our Nemo Rec Center on April 16th. They had great success with that mobile food pantry. Rear Relief has seen a decrease in folks coming into their building. They are still open, of course, but they've seen a decrease with folks maybe being scared to get out in the public or go to their physical location. So they're taking mobile food pantries to folks. So they had a great turnout at the Nemo Center for like a mobile drive-through pickup for that. We were able to install an ADA sidewalk at our Nemo Rec Center recently. That concluded Friday, actually. This will help in our lower parking lot, in our lower park and playground. There's a concrete pad that will assist folks in getting off of the parking lot onto the handicap ramp to our playground there. And it also has a small sidewalk that comes off of that and kind of wanders to the park down towards our swing sets and our tennis courts there at the Nemore Recreation Center. During this time, our senior action group, of course, had to shut down their sessions, but they are still serving lunch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in a drive-through format as well. So senior action, their participants can pull up to the Nemore Rec Center in the half circle there and pick up their meals for that day and also the next day. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, they are serving lunch there. We have a summer camp this year at Camp Greer and Camp Nemore. This decision is looming currently on the status of these camps. Our staff is constantly reviewing all of the CDC, DHEC, and DSS guidelines. We're constantly monitoring any cancellation announcements or postponements that folks are making currently within the state. And if anyone on the Recreation Board has any discussion, input that they would like to offer us at this time, it's not as easily as just rolling out the summer camp and having it ready to go due to the additional training that would be involved, masks, PPE materials for the camp and the staff, rigorous cleaning schedules that would be involved, social distancing per square foot measures that we would have to put in place. But like I said, we welcome any thoughts, input, discussion either tonight or you can contact me tomorrow, but we'll need to be reaching a decision promptly to notify staff and parents of our decision for this summer. That's all I have. If you want to discuss anything or have any questions, I'd be happy to take those.
Amanda, that's the last of our reports.
We will move on to financial reports.
Red.
All right, thank you, Amanda. Well, I guess, it's a pretty easy report. There's not a whole lot going on. We had a healthy spring registration for our sports programs. We were to the point where we were already purchasing some equipment. Of course, uniforms were ordered. But I really don't think that we purchased a lot of goods that we're going to come out and just end up having to throw away or never use. Of course, the equipment can be used. The uniforms, those can be used in future leagues. So while we might show a small loss for this particular spring season, it'll kind of even out down the road. So just unfortunate what we've dealt with over the past few months, and but we're excited about the future and excited about getting back to regular programming. By the way of grants, just really quickly, it made me think about Turner. We are looking at the possibility of combining 2 grants out at Turner to add an outdoor restroom building out there, Travis. So that'll be something else that another amenity that we can get back out there. Hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll try to accomplish that this year. It'll probably be summer, maybe even fall before you'll start seeing some activity on that. But we're working on that as well. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. You saying the bathroom's gonna be at Little Turner, the baseball field?
Yep, they'll be sort of closer to the road than where the old building was. Not kind of on the side of the hill, but it'll be kind of out behind the right center field fence of Little Turner.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's comes to me.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. I know we have a lot of construction going on at Kids Planet, so just want to let everybody know where we stand. I kind of back up to January, let you know where we were. We had in January, we had mandatory pre-bid meetings for our Kids Planet grading, site work, and accessibility. On January 2nd, we had 6 companies in attendance. Bids were due on the 22nd, and we had 3 bids submitted for grading and site work, and 2 bids were submitted for the accessible grading and site work. Raby Construction, fortunately, we had 1 bidder who was the low bidder for both. So really, when we have to work with a contractor, to work with 1 instead of 2 on 1 location is certainly preferred. So anyway, demolition of the playground also was taking place in January. Rain, wet conditions were an issue. However, demolition was completed in early February. On February the 11th, City Council approved Raby Construction as the low bidder for both grading, site work, and accessibility. We held a pre-construction meeting on February 12th at the Operations Center, which is here on Pennsylvania Avenue, with our grading contractor, Greenville County Redevelopment Authority, Cunningham Recreation, which is our playground equipment provider, and our engineer. And then we're leading into March, contracts between the City of Greer and Raby Construction and Greenville County Redevelopment Authority and Raby Construction were reviewed and approved for this project. Raby Construction began the process of applying for permits and developed a mobilization plan. In April, grading of the site began. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to go by and see. We've actually got sidewalks that have been cut into the ground, and soil remediation is currently taking place. When you add mulch, engineered wood fiber, which is what it's really called for our playgrounds, when you add that for over 20 years, and it's just layer upon layer, it's great topsoil, but it doesn't make for good compaction. So we had a lot to remove. So a lot of that went out to the golf course. We're very fortunate that we had a need for it at the golf course. So I think that Jim Young, our general manager, I think he is very excited to have the opportunity to do some other things out at the golf course. So that's kind of where we stand right now. We're just going through soil remediation. We've got the lower parking area is a flood zone. So anyway, just presents a little bit more problems, but we're working through those. We're also we have been creating and finalizing budgets for our department. We currently manage money in 8 different budgets in the city throughout the year. So it's a challenge, and we just keep tracking of it. Our staff does a tremendous job. We're also working on finalizing capital projects prior to the end of this fiscal year. And lastly, due to COVID-19, many of our facilities, parks, and programs have closed, which you've heard from other presenters tonight. They've either been canceled or postponed. And we've been working on phased opening recommendations for our parks, our facilities, based on information that we received from the governor's office, the CDC, DHEC, and other agencies throughout the state. We make recommendations based on what we feel is manageable for oversight by our staff and the Greer Police Department, ensuring that we can follow the guidelines outlined in the governor's executive order to the best of our ability. So as Travis mentioned before, you know, kind of in our first phase that we introduced and were recommended and it was approved, we opened some of our parks, really just trails, green space, because we want to get people back out. We want to help them exercise and stay healthy. And so anyway, so we've done that at, you know, Greer City Park, Center for the Arts Park, Century Park, the disc golf course, Veterans Park, Victor Park, walking trails, and of course the golf club that stayed open the whole time, which we're very fortunate that it did. We have other phases that we have recommended. Again, we just recommend what we feel like we can manage. And it's very fluid because things change. You know, we wait to hear from the governor's office. We pretty much follow their direction, and certainly they follow the CDC and DHEC. So hopefully we're just kind of in a holding pattern, and very unusual. It's very strange. We are managing to stay busy. We have plenty to do. So you know, that's pretty much all I have at this point. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have. We certainly welcome your input. I know Justin brought up about summer camps. You know, it's really up in the air right now. We're on the fence. We want to have it. We have parents who really need it, but do we have, you know, the space to provide it? Do we have the staff to provide it? And we keep going, you know, we want to make the decision, but we don't want to make the decision. We want it to be good for our parents and certainly for our staff too. So it's coming to the point where we're just going to have to make that recommendation, I think, next week to go one way or the other, or to either postpone it or to cancel it. And, you know, that's not something that we take lightly. So anybody who wants to share any information, we welcome it. We again know that it might be a hardship for parents, but you know, if school's not in session, they don't have it for summer school. There's a reason for that. So anyway, we're certainly reaching out to other agencies throughout the state, certainly in the upstate, the areas here, looking at DHEC, CDC. We just want to make sure if we offer something that we are prepared. So that's about all I have. Any questions or concerns?
And I just wanted to make a comment. Ann and I had talked earlier in the week about something else, and I told her I would not want to be in you guys' position for anything, having to make these decisions. So as a comment, I just want to tell all of you guys, thank you. I know you've all had to make some very, very tough decisions that nobody wants to make. Just as a comment, I have a child who goes to camp. In fact, I think maybe I took the last regular spot for Camp Greer, as I normally do, coming in at the last minute. As a parent, if you guys have camp, that wild little hopper boy is going to be there. It does not worry me as a parent. As a board member, I guess it does cause me a little bit of concern, just because, like you said, there's not going to be any school. And, you know, I can tell you from being there, dropping Hudson off, picking Hudson up, there is no social distancing. They are, you know, all up in each other's faces and touching the same basketball and, you know, doing all the things. And so, you know, as a board member, it does concern me. As a parent, what I can tell you is if you make the call, you know, I will totally understand it. And so I think the answer is just that you do have to make the call that is going to be the safest for everyone involved, whether that's postponing, you know, putting it off completely, I don't know. But I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you for the job that you've done. I know that it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to have someone that's going to be upset. And that is all comments that you guys are having to hear. And I just commend you for doing what you think is best, even though, you know, you're going to get some lashing out from someone one way or the other. So
thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. And I will say there are very strict guidelines that we have to follow. That if we do have these programs and, like in, and again, Justin, you might speak to this better than me. Say like Victor, we could, whereas we might have, I think we have 81 children registered, we can only take 28, based on the social distancing guidelines that are in place right now. And how do you decide which 28 children to bring in? And then when you do, they're, still social distancing, and you can't go on field trips. You have to stay with the same counselor all day. And it's just, there's so many other regulations that go with it. I'm not sure that even children would enjoy it. So again, it's something that we're looking into, we're monitoring. And I don't know, Justin, if you have anything else you want to add, but I just appreciate your input. I really do, Amanda. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's about it. I mean, it's a tough call, and some of those square footage guidelines that's including your staff as well. So it gets a little tricky, and at Needmore, it's even less. It's only 7 people between the 2 classrooms we have there. You could do some stuff as, stay outside as much as possible, but, a lot of times during the summer, there's a lot of pop-up weather that happens, and then what do you do then? And you're supposed to eat in different rooms, and just a lot of different guidelines that they're recommending that folks have. Thank you for your input, Amanda, and anybody else, like I said, tonight, or feel free to reach out to me with anything, and we appreciate it.
I have a question. Do y'all already been handed down guidelines to go by if y'all decide to go through with the summer camps from a higher source, or is it y'all making this call, or y'all are put up to making the call?
We make the recommendations based on information that we receive from numerous health organizations, and Justin, I know you have a whole list.
Yeah, CDC, DHEC, OSHA, and also the South Carolina DSS, and also this week, the South Carolina Recreation Parks Association released a set of guidelines and guidance to help folks make that decision, what measures would be in place. And a lot of those measures were the same that we've been reviewing in the past few weeks with the CDC recommendations and all those other entities. So those are the guidelines and suggestions, recommendations that those organizations are handing down to folks that might be contemplating hosting a summer camp.
Okay. I got one more question. It's not nothing to do with it, and y'all might laugh at me, but can y'all see my face, or do y'all just see a picture of me?
A picture?
Because I have no idea what's going on. I mean, it's like, hey, I can see them, but I don't see me. But yeah, I just had to throw that out there. I guess if we do this next meeting, I guess I'll be more prepared, I guess.
Okay.
Travis, you look great. You look great.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, so did you. But I'm sure y'all will make the right call and judgment on that prior to the deadline of y'all opening up or not opening up. So I'm pretty much sure y'all will do what's best for y'all interests and everybody else's. So I'm sure y'all will do the right thing.
Thank you, Travis.
I think if we don't have any more questions or comments, we can move to the old business.
Old business would be, there was included in your packet that Sally emailed was the upcoming events as well as current projects that the department is working on. Again, upcoming events, we can't say what exactly we're going to be able to offer, but if we're able to, we will be there. If not, we'll certainly try to maybe come up with some alternatives, maybe virtual programs, something. But we're trying to be as creative as we can. So you should have that list. If you don't, just let us know. We'll make sure you get it.
Okay, so we'll move on to new business.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. I have a nomination for chairperson of our golf committee. I'm thrilled that Mr. Harrell is with us tonight. Bill is a lifelong resident of Greer. He's an avid golfer. He retired as the senior vice president of Greer State Bank in 2014 after working there for 25 years. And since he has served several terms on the board of directors at Greer Country Club, including the president of the club over the past couple of years. Mr. Harrell's been a tremendous asset and resource to us through the transition. He has a wealth of knowledge, and I'm very excited about the nomination for him to be chair of the golf committee.
All right, so I think we just need a vote on this. Am I right on that, Sally?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Mr. Bohannon,
Yes.
Mr. Ware,
Yes.
Sally, I think they have to make a motion.
I don't think we have to do it for ad hoc,
Oh, okay.
only for the trustees. And Ms. Taylor's not here. I keep forgetting.
she is here, Sally. She came in here.
Oh, okay. Ms. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Huffman,
Yes.
Mr. Bridwell. Mr. Bridwell,
He's in the car.
He's in the car. He's looking at it.
I
Hang
think
on.
that's a yes.
Yes, I had it muted. I'm sorry.
Mr. Metcalf,
Yes, ma'am.
and Ms. Hopper.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, if we have nothing else, I think that concludes our meeting. So not hearing anything, so I don't have a gavel, but this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
All right, y'all stay safe. See y'all.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Thank you so much. Have a
Bye.
good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.